If you need to make moves ahead of the trade deadline, I'm here to give you 2 buys, 2 sells, and 2 trade targets ahead of week 5. And we'll jump into it to one of my biggest buys. I kind of already had him as a trade target on a video before, but I really wanted to highlight him here. It's Kyle Pitts. And I know the production hasn't been phenomenal, but the fact that we saw Michael Penix kind of get it together and we saw the upside that we've been hoping for, it's been pretty encouraging, especially when you consider just how low the floor it is to be a top 5 tight end. Because it's not just the fact that, oh no, Kyle Pitts got a touchdown. It's the fact that there's an actual floor. Even getting 8 points per game, depending on what your format is. If you're in tight end premium, he's been kind of paying off and at least being a steady stalwart on this team. I think he's the clear second target. It's not that I don't like Darnell Mooney, but it feels like whatever was going on last year with Pitts is over. Am I willing to call him a high-end tight end at this point? Not yet, but the fact that Jake Ferguson is a tight end 1 right now means that we're in some strange times. And let's just say it, if Kyle Pitts is going to be scoring for us, I don't think we should be picky. And he's someone that you should be targeting on your roster, especially if you could put him in your tight end position and he can steadily get you double-digit points week in and week out. That gives you that nice little floor in a different position that the rest of your league mates don't have, especially in your deeper leagues. If you're in like a 12-man league or 14-man league, I'm going to keep with kind of a low-key fill here. I already had him as a trade target. I'm willing to moving him up to a big time buy, even if that cost is going to be higher. Let's say if you're in Dynasty, if someone is asking a second rounder, I'm willing to buy Woody Marks. If you can get him in a 2-for-1 deal, I think you're going to be happy for yourself. And I mean aggressively target this guy, because here's the key fact. If you're in PPR, I think he's going to be an absolute monster. We already saw early in the preseason, he's one of their best guys on third down. That includes pass blocking. And especially if they're going to continue to be playing in these shootouts or grinding out slugfests where they're going to be trying to win or play from behind, he's the guy that's on the field and he's going to be earning those targets. It feels like the Texans have their own version of Kyren Williams right now with Woody Marks, and he's someone I think is a far more explosive runner. I love the upside. And here's another thing that people forget. The Texans traded a day 2 pick from this coming up draft to go get him in the previous draft. So they're invested in him as well. We've already heard great things for D'Amico Ryans. So especially if you've got Chase Brown or some of these other guys, if you have a league mate that is willing to take the bait on some of these big name players that haven't been performing, I'm willing to do it. He's the ultimate running back target right now, and I'm aggressively getting him everywhere and one of the biggest buys. If he's on your waiver wire, go ahead and enter the clip to go and get him, but he shouldn't be there. Before we get to the 2 sells, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, we want to help you win in as many ways as possible. We have our brand new website over on rotowire.com. Make sure to use the code on the screen, YouTube15, for a 15% discount on all of our subscriptions that can give you access to like our trade analyzer. So if you want to make trades like this or get help beyond just this video, definitely go over there and use that league analyzer. It really helps you with stuff like waiver wire pickups, or if you're even into betting, we have a really sweet betting tool over there as well. So go to rotowire.com, use the code YouTube15, and we'll get to the negatives. Trade Ja'Marr Chase, guys. Trade him. The chances of you being able to pick up someone that's going to give you Ja'Marr Chase upside at wide receiver and being able to get another position you may need help on. Let's say if you're a super flex, you need a quarterback in redraft, or you need a tight end. This is the type of trade chip that you go and you get a 2-for-1 deal back your way, meaning that you trade Ja'Marr Chase, maybe you can get Woody Marks and another wide receiver. And that sounds ugly, but if you're 0-4 and 1-3 statistically, you need to make an ugly and drastic move, because we can already hear the flushing sounds as you swirl into the toilet bowl. This is the type of guy that you got to move. The Bengals look bad. Jake Browning, he's a backup quarterback. Is he a competent backup? That's saying something. He's the richest man at the poor factory, but there's no offensive line. The play calling suspect at best. So I would just rather make a risky move and go get someone else if I'm desperate, because if you have the 101, especially in 1 QB leagues, or if you targeted Chase Brown in the first round of Superflex, you're probably hurting at this point, and desperate times call for desperate measures, which goes to the other side of this. Derrick Henry. That offensive line for the Ravens just isn't that good right now, and I expect that they're going to be playing from behind a lot more often than not, which means they won't be running the ball quite as often. We're going to see more Justice Hill. Maybe they'll let Keaton Mitchell out of the cellar and have him catch passes again, but the defense isn't as good as we expected. Marlon Humphrey just doesn't look good right now. He's an older player. They clearly need a lot of help in that secondary, and I think they're not quite the contender as what they were last season, and I'm really worried about the Ravens as a whole, and thus Derrick Henry. It just doesn't work well when you don't have a good defense and you don't have an offensive line, so I don't see that ADP falling. I don't see that ADP paying off right now. And on the other side, I would rather just move Derrick Henry legitimately. I know I keep bringing this up for Woody Marks or some of these other buys that I'm going to give you later. Maybe pick up a wide receiver. If I can trade Derrick Henry and get Ladd McConkey and another running back that's at least scoring points at the same rate as Derrick Henry, that could be a high leverage move that can give you some upside to turn things around. And these are talented players, not just carriages that are going to turn into pumpkins at midnight. I know, guys, he's Derrick Henry. It's not so much him as much as it is that I don't think that his upside is as much as his trade value. Now, as always with these videos, I give you 2 small trade targets. I always talk about 2-for-1 deals, and that's how I package this video. These are the type of guys that you might want to throw in. And let's say if you want to downgrade at running back or receiver, or you're moving a running back and you want something back, these are the types of players, starting with Kendre Miller. Right now, the peripherals are looking good for him on a per touch basis. And I know I said sell Alvin Kamara, but that's because the name value can get you more than what the production is giving you. Kendre Miller might be giving you Alvin Kamara value. Again, this is father time for a lot of these running backs like Kamara, like Derrick Henry. And they drafted Kendre Miller to be a guy that maybe could take some of this workload off Kamara. And they do different things as well. The only problem is Dennis Allen hated Kendre Miller. He's gone now, and especially when you have a Kellen Moore offense that really likes to prioritize that running game, there could be some upside here, and especially with touchdowns. Kendre Miller, with the Saints, there isn't a lot of touchdown equity, but again, if he continues to break tackles, if he looks healthy, and maybe he does have a little bit more juice in the running game than Kamara does at this point, he's worth a flyer. Now, another one, if you need help at tight end, or maybe you want to pick up someone else to give you high upside if you're trying to play keep away later, Mason Taylor might be a guy that I'm looking into. I really wrestled whether I wanted to talk about the Jets. There are some issues there, but their big problem is they don't have a second target beyond Garrett Wilson. So it makes it difficult for Justin Fields to rely on anyone else on this offense. It makes it difficult for Garrett Wilson when he's so easily double teamed. But maybe last game against the Dolphins, they discovered something with Mason Taylor. Keep in mind, the Dolphins have been giving up tons of points to tight ends, but they did pay a second-round pick for him for a reason. And he's a decent receiver. He leaves a little bit to be desired after the catch. And a lot of us have already projected that he could emerge as the second target on the offense. Now that we're going into week 5 and the Jets find themselves in the same desperation that we fantasy managers may see, I think Mason Taylor's a dude that they're going to look to get the ball in his hands more often, not just dump offs to Breece Hall, and he could open up things for Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. So he's someone I want to pick up now and stash and see what happens. Well, guys, that's 2 buys, 2 sells, and 2 trade targets. If you want more content, hit the like and subscribe button. And again, if you want all of our tools and articles, go over to rotowire.com, use YouTube 15 at checkout. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.